The Impassa River in Gabon. Eric and Mathieu are looking for gorillas.
I can't wait to see them. I can't wait. We're getting there. It's going to be great. They're not far away now, I think. You can smell their scent. Yes, you can smell it.
These gorillas are orphans. Their parents have been killed by poachers. Others were born in zoological parks before being released into the wild as adults.
Ah, I see one. There. Who is it? It's Ima. He was born in 2002. He came from the United Kingdom. He was brought here in 2003. So now he's 15. And they're completely free here? Yes. They're fully autonomous and completely free. That they've got this far, that they've been reintroduced and are still in good health, and so incredibly beautiful. It's very emotional. I don't know how to describe it. It's overwhelming.
Eric Beirel Ruivo runs Boval Nature, a foundation that funds programs reintroducing rare or endangered species into the wild around the globe. For the past 12 months, we have been filming them as they go about their work. In China, they took us to a secret spot, Giant Panda Valley. After many months of preparation, the pandas will soon be released into the wild. Then, Eric will head to Argentina to release Andean condors. They had disappeared from the region, but are back thanks to the efforts of a dedicated team. A spiritual journey to a land where the condor has been venerated for millennia. But Eric's trickiest mission will be on the Indonesian island of Java. Here, for the first time, he'll set free 2 animals that grew up at Boval Zoo and have spent their whole lives to date in captivity.
It's so beautiful.
But will Samui and Inda, 2 magnificent langur monkeys, know how to survive in the wild? We meet Eric in Gabon, in the Bateke Plateau National Park, gorilla territory. Far away from villages and poachers, this remote spot is an animal's paradise. Eric joins the conservation team. It's the only human presence in the midst of this untouched natural environment. Trackers and scientists live at the base camp. Solane is the group's vet.
Here they'll eat what we find at the local market in Franceville. There are onions, bananas, aubergines, and sweet potatoes. And we try as best we can to introduce wild fruits into their diet, fruits they are likely to find in the forest or the savannah.
This project, the only one of its kind in the world, began 30 years ago, thanks to John Aspinall, an English billionaire with a passion for gorillas. John died in 2000, and his son Damien took over. Today, 3 new gorillas are arriving by helicopter. Dekele, Moembe, and Rafa are orphans. Their parents were killed by poachers. They were cared for at the Foundation Zoo in England and are now back in their homeland.
It's a win-win for Moembe, who will go back to the wild. We'll see her father Jala again. And of course it's a win-win for Rafa and Dekele, who sadly saw their families wiped out by poachers but are now going to be living free where they belong, not in captivity. So we're very positive and hopeful that this will go well.
For the first few months, Dekele, Mwembe, and Rafa live on an isolated island to give them time to acclimatize to their new environment. The three gorillas, weighing more than 150 kilos, also have to get used to their new diet. Dekele, Mwembe, and Rafa very quickly take possession of their island. As a future patriarch, Rafa is already protecting his clan.
They've changed environments, so that's been pretty stressful for them. And now we're adapting their diet, so we're moving from the food they were given in the park towards a diet more and more like what they'll be able to find in the forest. So that's a double stress for them. A change of environment and a gradual change of diet. They're particularly vulnerable at the moment. We have to monitor them every day and make sure they're not losing weight.
Once the gorillas have adapted, this bridge across the river will be opened so they can be released into the wild for good. They'll join around 50 other gorillas living in a natural state. They will be able to roam over thousands of acres. So the team has developed a technique for finding animal tracks. Alessandro sets up camera traps along the routes the animals take. It's a good way to keep an eye on nature without disturbing it. He collects the images once a month.
We placed a great many photo traps in the zone where the gorillas are reintroduced, because that way we can monitor them, make sure they're healthy, and observe the dynamics between the groups. It's a wonderful tool because it's non-invasive and we can see everything that's going on. We have a lot of photos of gorillas, so we're able to really keep track of them. But we can also observe all the fauna that passes through the same zone. And that's fantastic, because we see new species, and sometimes endangered species, that are present in the park.
The camera filmed this family of elephants watching over their newborn. They're being followed by a leopard, attracted by the noise. This image of a lion was taken at night. It's surprising, because the lion has been officially extinct in Gabon since 1994. But nothing beats observation on the ground for watching a newborn or gaining information on the state of health of a band. This morning, the team is off to make contact with a wild band. Fortunately, they've left some pretty visible clues.
There are insects feeding. There are centipedes down there. You see, that's from yesterday. Centipedes eat urine. It's still fresh. Can you grab it? Oh, wow. It's still fresh. The insects eat that. So here we have the droppings of a silverback, the big male of a band that is completely autonomous now. We're going to take a look at the droppings under a microscope and see if there are any parasites, what type and how many. This will give us information about the group's health. Since the droppings are fairly fresh, the information will be pretty reliable.
Merci Didier. De rien. Hop. On est parti. Okay.
The team is on the right track, but gorillas move fast, and the vegetation is very dense. They won't catch up with them today, so it's back to the base camp. In the heart of the rainforest, researchers and trackers live out their love of gorillas. In their bush lab, Solane analyzes the day's finds. This monitoring is very important because gorillas are susceptible to parasites and can lose weight fast.
That female there, we can see that her back is really very, very flat, and she's very, very thin. They're very, very thin at the rear, and probably riddled with parasites.
The next day, Eric and the team head out again in search of the band of gorillas. They don't know it yet, but they're in for a few surprises. Meanwhile, in France, at Beauval Zoo, Delphine has spent the last few months preparing a particularly ambitious reintroduction. Samui and Inda, the Java langurs, are on their way back to Indonesia. Delphine makes changes to their diet to get them used to the food they will find in their natural surroundings.
So this is mulberry bush that we picked fresh this morning to give to them. We're just trying to get the troop, and in particular the two langurs, used to eating more and more foliage. In their natural environment, they'll mainly eat leaves and very little fruit. You find very little fruit in the forests there.
Born in the zoo, Samui and Inda are about to discover their ancestral habitat. A long journey by plane and then lorry will take them to the acclimatization base on the west of Java. The two females aren't traveling alone. Some 20 langurs from the UK are making the journey too.
He just looks quite tired. He's all right.
In their new universe, the langurs will spend several months in an enclosure as the first stage of their acclimatization. They won't be free yet, but they will at last be on home ground. Samui and Inda can stretch their legs after such a long trip.
Okay, let's open up. Samui is easy to recognize. She's much more adventurous than Inda, who's much shyer. There, that's it. They're doing very well so far. I'm incredibly surprised to see how quickly they've adapted. They arrived yesterday, and they ate straight away. They spent hours on a plane, and everything's fine.
Sigit, an Indonesian carer, shows Delphine the langur's new home. In the forest, the monkeys will have to find their own food and also protect themselves from danger. With a little help from a stuffed leopard, the carer teaches the langurs how to be wary of predators.
We have young langur, young primate in here, so maybe they still remember what happened in the jungle. So after we introduce the predator, they still remember and keep alert like mom or like parents before doing in the jungle. So it's easy and easy to rehabilitation, and maybe hopefully not need long time to rehabilitate.
Hey, sweetie. We've brought the langurs, Samui and Inda, to their country of origin. And the dream isn't over yet, because the next stage is taking them to East Java to be released into the wild. So I reckon I'm living the dream of all animal care professionals.
Delphine will come back in 6 months for the final release. Will these langurs, born in captivity, survive in the wild? Back to Gabon. Eric, Solène, and Mathieu have been tracking the gorillas for 3 days now. For their part, the trackers skirt the jungle looking for signs. Chino has spotted a sleeping spot. The flattened grass leaves are a clear giveaway that apes were here last night.
This proves gorillas are in the area, because it's still fresh. It's broken. There's clearly been activity here.
In fact, the gorillas are a few meters away in the undergrowth. Tanga, a silverback male, watches the trackers. The gorilla then leads his family towards the edge of the forest where Eric, Mathieu, and Solène are.
What's happening? We've followed this morning's tracks, and now we can hear them. They're about 50 meters away. Evidently, they don't want to come out into the savannah for the moment. So we'll continue tracking them by going back into the forest to contact them directly.
All of a sudden, Tanga rushes out to reconnoitre the situation.
It's the band's silverback. You can hear the females who've remained at the edge of the forest. The males come out to tell us, "I'm here." Extraordinary.
The dominant male puts on a show of strength. A female comes out of the forest and approaches.
Careful, Pierre. Stay back a little, okay?
Our presence is not welcome.
Speed it up.
It's time to get back to the boat.
We shouldn't run, right? No, don't run, but walk quickly.
The gorillas have followed us.
He wasn't happy about the women coming out. Do you think he would have attacked us? No. As a general rule, it's just to intimidate. So it's always slanted, never direct.
Solène has just discovered her first band of gorillas. It's a childhood dream come true.
I hope there'll be others. It's magical. Magical. Was that impressive? Yes, of course. How can you not be impressed by such an animal?
More than 10 years after being reintroduced, the band has become fully wild. It will be harder and harder to observe it. This is the proof that the reintroduction has worked perfectly. It's a beacon of hope for all the other gorillas waiting to return to nature, and a fine example for Eric.
Succeeding in getting them back into their natural environment, teaching them to find their own food, to socialize, to explore, and to settle in their surroundings is absolutely incredible. What fascinates me about this program is the determination of the team, the courage that keeps them going, and their ability to learn from their mistakes, to make it work. It's in places like this, with people like these, that we will be able to keep gorillas in the long term.
These days, zoos like Beauval play a vital role in the conservation of rare and endangered species. They take part in many programs encouraging breeding and the reintroduction of animals into the wild. The most symbolic of all is the one to save the giant panda. The birth of Huang Meng is good news for the program, which currently involves 16 zoological parks around the world.
How's our little panda? He's doing fine. His weight was over 6.4 kilos this morning. Great. He's growing well.
Huang Meng and his parents Huan Huan and Huan Zi don't belong to Beauval Zoo, but to China, which is running an international breeding program.
Ni hao. How are you? And baby? Okay.
This is a great success for the reintroduction program because we now have the number of animals we need, so we can begin releasing all the surplus animals. And perhaps this baby panda will also be able to be relocated into natural surroundings one day. He's begun walking a little, hasn't he? Yes, he's taken his first steps. He's too cute. He's not very steady.
Oh my God.
The panda is the emblem of the Sichuan region in central China. Chengdu is its capital. The panda is everywhere, in all shapes and sizes. There is even a breeding center open to the public. Every year, 4.5 million visitors flock to see the new cubs. The good news is that they've had 11 births this year.
We'll look fab.
Eric has just got there. He's welcomed by Rodolphe Delord, the zoo's French director. Just like in an operating theater, every possible precaution is taken to avoid transmitting diseases to the cubs. The cubs were born in the spring. They've just left the nursery and are exploring the great outdoors. They're already very playful.
What a privilege. This cub is 6 months old. He's already beginning to be independent and starting to climb trees and play. They are really playful. Hello, you. Hello. It's an incredible feeling to see these panda cubs, the result of an amazing program. 30 years ago, there were virtually none left in the whole world, and now we can reintroduce them into the wild and take them to Panda Valley to train them. Doing things there is absolutely extraordinary. He's biting me. He really wants to bite me. I never thought I'd get such a chance. He's already got strong teeth. Incredible.
The Beauval cub should be brought here to the Chengdu Breeding Center within 3 years. He will then be released into a Sichuan reserve. The pandas due to be released are taken to their native territory, Panda Valley at the foot of the Sichuan Mountains. This sanctuary protects the panda, which is in grave danger of extinction.
It's a species that, because of its biology, doesn't breed easily. The number of pandas has never really exploded, and we only find them in this region of Sichuan. The rise in the human population has led to deforestation, which has contributed to the disappearance of pandas, just at a time when the future of the species was really under threat.
Eric and Rodolphe's next appointment is with Jack Owens, an American researcher. They've brought equipment with them that the research team preparing the panda's reintroduction has been eagerly awaiting.
Good morning.
Radio and satellite transmitters, so they can track the pandas.
Here is your antenna for the radio transmitter. Thank you. Contribution for the panda reintroduction.
This is wonderful, really. Even this.
The cost of the operation, $25,000, has been met by the Zeus Foundation.
You know, you can't use it at all.
You have the top of the technology that you're doing for these things now.
Wonderful. Nice looking.
So this is the two events that block the signal. This is blocks the signal of the satellite. And I suppose this is blocks the signal of the radio.
Great.
There.
Pandas live in semi-liberty, in conditions similar to those they would find in the wild. There is no further contact between the pandas and humans. Only Jack is allowed to go near them, to monitor them or to treat them if needed.
So you will go with the panda?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna go in and try the collars on.
Is it dangerous?
No, not at all. No, they're 1 year old, and we have good relationship with them, so it's not dangerous at all. Yeah, pandas can be dangerous, but not when you've worked with them for so long. You can read their behaviors. Very quiet, very calm. Yeah.
We are given special permission to film. Jack wants to test the new collars. When it comes to attracting pandas, nothing beats an apple.
We need to know that it fits perfectly. Too tight is not good, and then it'll start causing some problems, and then too loose is also not good, because then maybe, a branch could get stuck in there, or it's uncomfortable, or it can slip off. Pandas have a lot of fur, and so it looks like they're really thick neck, but then when you push down on it, they have about that much fur, and so a lot of times people say, oh, that looks too tight, or something like that, when maybe it's a little too loose. It's just so much fur.
Releasing animals into the wild is a long process, and it will be many more months before the pandas rediscover their natural habitat. A few days later, Eric heads to Indonesia for a very special release. Samui and Inda, the two langurs, have spent 6 months getting used to their new surroundings. The girls are now ready to be released. A 1,000-kilometer trip takes them to a little corner of paradise. A preserved forest on this overpopulated island. It's thanks to the presence of a Buddhist temple and sacred water sources that the trees are still standing. Pilgrims come to drink the miracle water. So the forest is protected from poachers and loggers who daren't enter this sacred spot, making it perfect for langurs.
Made, that's our langurs?
Yes, that's your langurs. That's
No.
Inda and Samui.
No.
Yeah.
You're joking.
Amazing.
Yes, that's your langur.
I was not at all expecting them suddenly like that. Oh.
Before being set free, Samui and Inda have been placed in an enclosure in the middle of the forest.
Have they changed? Yes, they've put on weight.
Outside the enclosure, a wild male watches the two females.
He's actually already taken possession of this troop of females. He's there, protecting them. You can already see that the females are interested in him. I think a troop has already been formed, even if they haven't been released yet. When we open the door, they will go with him. You could say I'm sad because they're leaving. But when I see the male that's there, that they're doing well, I tell myself, it's going to be okay. These are the first animals born in Bouval to be released into the wild.
Everything's ready. First out will be Inda.
Well, all set? All set? Let's do this. There, it's open. Yes, it's crazy. It's fantastic. It's Inda. She didn't hesitate. No. She's discovering the world. Oh, look, Samui's coming. Go on, Samui. Oh, look at the male. Look, look. Bingo, bingo. It's great. It's too beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations for your language.
And you will have babies very soon.
Yeah, sure.
It's the first time. It's something I've dreamed about all my life, and now it's here. There's a mix of emotions. We did it, but we're wondering what will happen now. If these animals will survive, if they'll adapt, if they'll breed and repopulate.
You see them sleeping together?
The first few hours are key.
And the male together.
Samui and Inda move around slowly, still chaperoned by the wild male.
She's moving. She's going behind. I saw her. She's coming down. You can see her tail. She's coming down?
That's Inda.
Inda?
Yeah, that's Inda.
Ah, you see the tail?
Yeah, I saw the tail. And they start to see what kind of tree and edible for the edible food for them, and they can eat. They just trying sometimes first, and then keep trying to eat some of the leaves here in this forest. So yeah, this is like just first exploring for them when they are free.
Exhausted by the day's emotions, Samui and Inda fall asleep in the trees.
The male and the female are sleeping together. That's an extremely encouraging sign. I'm really pleased to see them sleeping together. It's a reassuring sign for this couple that has already formed. We could have babies in December or January.
The two langurs seem to have settled in perfectly, but during the night, Samui disappears. It's impossible to find her in the vegetation. But they need to maintain contact and continue to monitor her to ensure she adapts.
I'm worried. With Samui. You don't see Samui?
I don't know, sir. I'm explorer.
I'm a little worried because when we left them, they were together. They were virtually in the same tree. And now we're back, and we can only see one. We saw the male somewhere, but she wasn't with him. Samui isn't around here, or she's hiding somewhere.
The hours tick by, but Samui doesn't reappear. Trackers are sent out to find her. The team has to give up and head back to the base camp. Langurs arrive here regularly to be released. Most of the time, the return to the wild goes well. As with any conservation program, there are failures. Eric and Delphine know the risks, but didn't expect to lose one of their langurs so soon.
Non, c'est un mâle qui a été réintroduit ou...
Hey, look, I have a good news, Eric.
What?
So we found Samui. See,
No.
Samui is back.
No.
See,
No.
here, see this picture. Look. So they are all together now, 3 of them. So this is Samui.
When did she back?
So she's just back this morning.
Oh, fantastic.
Ah ouais, c'est super.
So yeah, now he's come back
Ah là là,
with the group.
je me sens beaucoup plus soulagé. Hein.
Ah super, moi
Ah,
aussi.
dis donc.
The reintroduction is a success. When they're ready, the langurs will join a wild troop. Eric takes part in numerous conservation programs around the world. Each reintroduction is a new adventure. Several weeks after the little monkeys were released, Eric is expected in Patagonia, in the southeast Argentina, high up in some Rocky Mountains. This is the land of the condors, a sacred bird which had totally disappeared. On his arrival, Eric is greeted with a traditional ceremony. The guardians of the condor believe everything in nature is connected. Man, animals, plants, and the elements both visible and invisible.
In the heart of the sky and the earth, in the name of the guardians of Palaman, I thank you, my brother, for coming from France. From so far away to join us in the liberation of the condors of Palaman.
Louis Jacome set up the Bioandina Association some 15 years ago. Now, 15 people protect the condors. Eric has brought new equipment, which will be used in 2 days' time when 3 young condors are released.
Hola, chicos.
What have we here? I've brought feathers from the Boval condors for the feather ceremony. What else do we have? Transmitters.
These radio transmitters are vital to the project's success. Through them, the condors can be monitored.
Young condors aren't very good at flying. Initially, they go with the wind. Thanks to these transmitters, we'll be able to monitor them from the planes to make sure they're okay. We will follow their first steps before they learn to fly.
Louis and his team have built a large aviary at the top of the mountain. The young condors arrived a few weeks ago. They're waiting to be freed. The first task is to fit the condors with transmitters.
Cachito, ready?
This doesn't hurt the birds. The condor had totally disappeared from Patagonia, and early attempts to reintroduce them were not always a great success. Many condors died. Farmers poisoned the jackals that attacked their herds. But condors are vultures. They feed on the carcasses of the jackals and are poisoned in turn. The Guardians have been stepping up their interaction with locals to change public opinion towards condors, who sometimes have a bad reputation. School children are the best ambassadors for condors with adults.
So what have we got here? It's an incubator. This is a model of what they do in the zoo in Buenos Aires. When they take in an injured condor and it lays an egg, they put it in an incubator. How long does it take? 62 days. 62 days of incubation and then it hatches? Yes, that's right.
Once hatched, the young condor has no more contact with man. It is fed using a glove shaped like a condor's head to simulate the presence of its parents. On the eve of the release, all the locals gather at the base camp. They will stay up all night, ready for a sunrise ceremony. Many spiritual chiefs have made the journey. They've waited a long time for the return of the condor.
What they explained was that there are two worlds. A world down here, the world of the earth, and the world up there, the world of the sky. These two worlds reflect in each other. The condor provides a connection between the two worlds and communication. This communication was lost with the disappearance of the condor. The absence of the condor has left everyone here feeling a little orphaned by their ancestors.
At dawn the next day, the whole community greets the coming of the light. This ancestral ceremony is to welcome the new condors back to their homeland. Hundreds of locals converge on the mountain. As if they were expected, wild condors fly over the crowd. Eric waits impatiently for the aviary to be opened. The news has spread throughout the Patagonian desert. 3 condors are going to be set free.
We're going to pray to purify our spirit, to purify the energies, as they say. What we're doing today is returning 3 children to their mother. And I believe that it's the mother's love for her children that has brought us together today. It's what's touched people's hearts, and mine too.
In recognition of his help and support, Eric is given a condor feather. Up on the hill, the aviary is opened. The young condors still have brown plumage. They will adopt their black and white plumage when they reach maturity at 9 or 10 years old. As soon as night falls, the guardians need to check the young condors feed properly. They get carcasses and water ready.
¿Cada cuánto le llevan el agua?
It's very important the young condor doesn't make the connection between the food and the guardians. That's why we put out the meat at nightfall. The condor doesn't fly at night. It sleeps. It's the ideal time to put out meat and not create a link between food and humans.
The next day, Eric and Leandro are going to try to follow the young condor's path.
Which one is that there? Let me just tune it. We've got 61 on channel 6. As you can hear, the signal's strong. They're just in front, not very far away, somewhere in the mountain. The level is high. Oh yes, he's there. That's right. That is the 61. It's a male. And below is a female, number 60. They're edging their way towards the food. Oh, that's fantastic. If they're getting ready to feed.
The young wait for several hours. Then the adults leave the rest of the carcass for them. The reintroduction is a success. The adult condors have other matters on their mind. The moment of mating has rarely been observed.
The fact that they're breeding already is a sign the program is a success. It's simply a question of time before they return to the coast, because the end goal is to find condors feeding on the beaches of the Atlantic, near the whales once again. Condors carry the souls of the dead to the whales, and the whales take the souls to heaven, to the land of the ancients and other ancestors. For the people here, it's really important that the condors return to the coast.
Condors will soon return to the shores of the Peninsula Valdez. It really is just a matter of time. This stretch of land jutting out into the ocean boasts an incredible diversity of wildlife, including elephant seals, sea lions, and a multitude of birds. It's also home to the southern right whale. They flock here from June to November to give birth to their young in the calm waters.
People think I'm crazy, but you feel things here that you just can't explain. Energies, signs, coincidences.
A traditional ceremony is being held to honor the whales. One of them comes to within a few meters of the beach, as if to encourage man to keep hoping.